Hai, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shafiq HAIKAL bin SAZALI from Group A for CDCS through 304A. So I will be presenting my application, which is the Keychain application. From previously, I have been using the array list and linked list, but now for the second assignment, we will be using the stack and queue for my project. So this is the classes. I got this much of classes. I got seven classes. This one is for the main classes. So without further ado, let's try to proceed with the demo first for my system. Okay, so this is the Keychain inventory application. So we have 7 options, including the exit, which is 0, which is 8. So we have 8 option we can do. So let's just do the first one. Let's go display all the keychain. So there we go. This is all the keychain that has been saved inside the application, that have been keep inside the inventory. So let's go to the number 2, which is we can find which keychain that we want to show. So let's enter the keychain name. So let's put cinnamon roll. There we go, and we'll output the same keychain. Let's try to add a new one. So let's give it a name, something like Barbara, and then the series is from Genshin Impact. And for the price, let's pick something like 5 ringgit. And for the quantity, let's just do 10. And there we go, the keychain added successfully. So let's see if the keychain has been added into the inventory. So let's select number 1, and there we go, we have Barbara. Alright, okay, so let's say that I want to delete something. So let's just pick number 4 and enter the name of the keychain to delete. So I will use key T. I want to delete the key T, the first one in the list. So let's just enter the name, and it will say the keychain deleted successfully. Okay, so let's choose number 1 to see if the keychain has been that has been deleted inside the inventory. And yep, the keychain for the kitty has been removed from the inventory. Okay, now let's proceed to the number 5. Number 5, which is display the sum, average, min, max prices for all the keychain. So let's pick number 5, and as I pick number 5, let's show that this is the sum, average, min, and max inside this inside the inventory. Okay, so after that, we can also save the analytics, which is sum, average, min, max. So if you pick number 6, it will say that analytics has been saved. So if we display the analytics, so this is the current analytics that has been used, which is inside the memory, or we could say that inside the stack. And this time we do have the analytics from the file, which is inside the file that we use to save everything right over here. So the latest one, this is 1, which is on 8. Okay, so we can also do save again, and let's see if it exists inside the inventory. Yeah, there we go, there's another one right over here. Okay, so let's proceed to exit, and now I will proceed to explain my code. So for the first one, I will explain about the stack. So a stack is pretty much simple. It's just S10 classes from the linked list. So we have the stack super. We also have the method for push, which is we use the insert at front, and we have pop to remove from the front, and we got pick to see the first inside the stack. We have the is empty method to see if the stack is empty or not, and we have the print. Okay, that's for the stack. For another one, I do have the queue. So queue is pretty much same as the stack. So we have the queue method, which is the same one. Queue is the S10 class from the linked list. So we have enqueue to insert at back. We do have the dequeue function to remove from front, because the queue is first in first out, and for the stack is first in last out. Okay, and then we have the get front, which is get the first to see the first data inside the object. We have the get end to see the last one. We got the is empty to see if this if the queue is empty or not, and lastly we have print function. Okay, so moving on to the keychain objects. So pretty much same like the previous assignment I've been using. We have 4 variables, which is name, series, price, and quantity. We have the number constructor, we have the setter, we got all the getter, and we have 2 string. And now for the analytics, this is pretty much same like previous. So we have double, sum, average, min, max, and we have time right over here. We got the number constructor, we have the getter. We don't need to use setter because we only want to save the analytics. And right over here we have the 2 string to show everything inside the analytics. Okay, so the important part is the main application. So let's go to the first one. So what I'm using is that the first one we have the queue stat. I'm using 1 queue for the keychain queue, and right over here we have analytic stat and analytic history. So we're using stat also. Oh, I forgot this one, queue temp for the queue class. Okay, so pretty much like previously, I'm using methods to output the interface that I want. So this is the first start prompt that when we start the application it will show this. Okay, so the second method is to display the keychain queue. So right over here we will use the queue. The first one, we will check the queue if the keychain queue is not empty. If the keychain queue is not empty, it will dequeue the keychain queue inside the object, and then it will casting inside the keychain right over here, and then it will output the keychain information, and then it will insert back the casting of the object inside the queue temporary. After that, we use this to check if the queue temp is not empty, and it will enqueue back inside the queue inside the keychain queue. So the data will always be saved and it will not be removed. Okay, so for the next method, which is find keychain, so it will use the scanner. So the user will enter the keychain name, and then if the keychain is the same that the user want right over here, and it will output the 2 string right here, and then the found will be input as true. And then the same like previously, over here the queue temporary, it will enqueue everything back inside the queue temporary, and then if the keychain is found, it will break, and then after that, if not found, the keychain is not found. Okay, and last one, just like previous method, it will enqueue back everything from the queue temporary inside the keychain queue. Okay, for the next one right over here, we have the method for add keychain. Pretty much the user will enter the every information about the keychain inside the this method, and then every information will be saved inside the keychain, and then the keychain will be enqueued inside the keychain queue, and then the system will output the keychain added successfully. After that, the keychain will be saved inside a file which is named keychains.txt with the limiter, which is the modulus. And if the system has been cached with the error, it will output the IO exception. Also, we'll say error saving keychain to file. Okay. So for the next one, we have delete keychain method. For the delete keychain method, right over here, the same as previously, just like the find keychain, but right over here we will delete the keychain. So the first user will enter the keychain name that they want to delete. After that, the system will check inside the keychain queue if there's the same keychain name with the what user be entered. It will return true, and then it will remove from the file, which is the keychain. So this is the method that will be explained later, and then it will continue. After that, the keychain that has been casted will be in queue inside the queue temporary. So after the keychain has been deleted, it will queue back everything inside the queue temporary inside the keychain queue. And just like previously, if we found keychain deleted successfully, else keychain not found. Okay, so the next one, which is the method for remove from file. So this one is pretty much, it will delete one line inside the keychain.txt. Inside the keychain.txt right over here, it will remove the data that we want to delete. Okay, so for the next one, we have the load keychain from file. So this one is pretty much just take each line inside the keychain.txt, and it will be parse the data by split it from the modulus, and then it will insert the data, which is name, series, price, and quantity inside back the keychain object, and it will be incubate inside the keychain queue for each line. For the next method, we have the do calculation method. So right over here, we have the each of the calculation that we want to take inside the system, which is the sum, min, max, and count. So right over here, it will check if the keychain is not empty, and then it will casting the keychain queue inside the object. After that, it will check and do the calculation for each one over here, and then it will enqueue inside the queue time. After that, it will output each of the information that we want, which is the analytics inside back inside the system, and then it will enqueue back from the queue temporary inside the keychain queue. And right over here, this is the save analytics methods, which is it will do the calculation just like previously, but right over here, it will write back everything inside the analytics .txt, and then after that we can display back the analytics that we want, which has been saved. And right over here, this is the display analytics, which is it will pop the analytics history and also the analytics tag, which is that everything that has been saved will be output. And this one, it will just restore back analytics tag from which is it will restore the analytics tag and copy to the analytics history. And this one, we have the display analytics from file, which is it will read everything inside the file, which is the keychain underscore analytics.txt, and then it will output everything. And the last one, which is the main function, we do have the keychain application. So everything is inside the loop, which is we will use the switch case function, and it will check which option the user want to use, and then it will output by call the method that we have been added inside the system. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next assignment. Goodbye.